Ladies and gentlemen, the show we've all been waiting for. Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present REP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts, Kim Purvis and Allison Robinson. Live every Thursday night on Spreaker, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Be sure to check out their Facebook page, REP Paranormal Busters.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, welcome everybody to another night of REP Paranormal and Friends. We have special guests from Spirit Vision Paranormal Research. So welcome, guys.
Hi.
All right, so we have two out of the three. Lee is not feeling well, but we do have Sarah. Or Rocky is the one that's not feeling well. Sorry. I was looking at Lee when I said that. All right, so we have Lee and Sarah with us tonight, so welcome.
Hi.
Hiya.
All right, so for the listeners who may not be up to speed with you guys, can you give a little bit of background on yourselves?
Go on, I'll let you go.
So we are a team that's been going for just over 12 months now. We're all friends, and we just started going out really just because the boys make night vision cameras. So we went out originally just to kind of test the cameras, and then it become a team event. And then we decided, after getting a load of evidence on the first episode, that we'd put it out on YouTube. So yeah, we're doing really well. So we go around abandoned buildings. Well, not all abandoned, are they? We've started doing some paid locations, but originally it was abandoned buildings. And I think we get the best of our evidence in places that are probably never been investigated.
Yeah,
or hardly.
the ones that are pretty quiet.
Yeah, the ones that have hardly ever been investigated as our best places. And we've just started series 2, so.
But we have got over 30 years experience between us in the paranormal. Which we didn't just start 12 months ago and we've learned from there. We have been involved in the paranormal for over 30 years between us.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So, did you guys have any paranormal experiences before you started investigating?
I did as a child. I lived in a pub with my parents that was really, really active, and we used to get like banging on the floors, and we used to hear voices a lot, and the cleaner would say, "I've just seen a man in a long dark coat and hat," and my dad used to take the mickey out of her and say, "You can go back downstairs and you'll be all right. Don't worry about it." And then one day we had a medium come in for a drink into the pub and stood at the bar and said to my mum, "I've just seen a gardener walk through your wall." And my mum was like, "Right, okay." and then they spoke to the locals, and the locals said that was a door. The wall was a door years ago, and the gardener went out through the door one night and got run over by a truck right outside the door.
Oh, wow.
So then obviously my mum took it a little bit more seriously. And then we were all in the bar one night, and we used to have young girls who used to wait on the tables in the restaurant. And it was like where the pub was is in the middle of the countryside, so they're quite old back lanes, and it's pitch black. And one of the girls used to bike, and my dad said to her, "You sure you don't want me to run you home?" And she was like, No, it's fine. No, I'll be fine. Don't worry, I always do it. And somebody said, "Well, I wouldn't like to do it." And from the very back of the restaurant, somebody said, "Neither would I." And we all sort of turned around, and every single one of us heard it. And when the medium come in, she said there's an old man that sits at the back of your restaurant, and he sits there because that's the table he sat there with his wife, and he sits there all the time waiting for his wife to come and join him.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was a really active place, and I want to go. It's not a pub anymore. It's now a vet's. So I'm trying to get us in there because curiosity. I need to find out what was going on in that place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow.
You have approached them, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've been speaking to somebody, so hopefully they'll let us do an investigation there, because I'd love to do that.
That's very awesome. And so, when you guys go out and investigate, you said you do a lot of abandoned areas,
Mm-hmm.
And you usually spend a couple of nights there, don't you?
Yeah. We don't spend one night at places. We've done the most we've ever done in a place has been about 15, 16 nights.
Over a few months.
That was over a few months. That was the first one that we did. But now we'll go 3, 4, maybe 5 times. But because sometimes we'll go and one of the nights we'll get absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So when everybody looks at our episodes, we have a lot of people say you'll get a lot of stuff. We'll say, yeah, but that is over quite a lot of hours, over 70 odd hours worth of filming. Mm-hmm. And a lot of patients are sitting there in the dark and not getting answers to your questions.
A lot of time you're not getting much, are you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right. That's something that I've been trying to talk our group into doing, is doing like a couple nights at a place. We haven't done that yet, but I think
willing.
Yeah, Kim's willing. It's just the other ones we got to get Kim on board, so we can all just go for a weekend.
They're like aware. Well, I don't know. So,
like they have to get used to you.
Yeah, and then the second night gets a little bit better, and then the third night, it's like they're responding to what you're asking. Basically asking to do.
Yeah. So I think they have to get used to us as much as we've got to get used to them. And sometimes we'll find the first night and the second night you'll hear a lot of creeping, like in rooms away from us, as if somebody's just coming, peeking their head round and seeing what they're up to, why they're here, sort of thing. That's why we like doing so many nights, because like I say, one night we can get absolutely nothing. We spend 6 hours there and not get a sausage, but I like that we do that. And that's kind of the reason why we like to stick to abandoned places, or not necessarily just abandoned places, but on paid events, or if you pay to go somewhere, you're kind of limited on your time.
Yes.
And some places are really, really expensive. So to go back 3 or 4 times is just way out of our budget.
And we find that the ones where you pay and they're really expensive, people have been in and out, obviously investigating it, and when we go, we get hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear it's the most haunted pub in the UK, and you go there and like you're lucky if you get a response.
Yeah, but then like I said, I always say to everybody is, can you imagine if you're sitting at your house every Friday night and team after team after team comes through and is saying, can you bang and whistle and knock and stand on one leg? After a few 4 weeks, you'd think, I'm not doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, why would you, as a human being, never mind a spirit, why would you dance to somebody's tune week in, week out? Mm-hmm. So that's why I think we get the responses that we get in these abandoned places, because like I say, there's we've just done one, haven't we, that's never been investigated, a nursing home, which is going to be, hopefully all being well, our next episode. Because what we do is we only put out investigations that we get responses on. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to bore people. We've got endless hours of footage.
Places where we've been,
that we just haven't put anything on. Yeah, and we don't put it on. So hopefully, all being well, if we've got good responses in there, we'll put it on. But that's never been investigated, so it's high hopes for that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we spent 3 nights in there. But if we don't get responses on the footage that we've got now, we'll go back, won't we? Mm-hmm. We'll go back and do probably 2 or 3 more nights and just give it a chance, really. Mm-hmm. Just see what we get.
Very nice. How do you find these haunted or these abandoned locations?
So we're part of like the urbex sort of world in our area, and we've got a lot of friends who are urbexers, but it's just mainly researching and driving around and just having a look sort of on the maps and just.
I have a friend that's been on the urbex scene for nearly, I think, 4 years.
Yeah.
And he sends me like his 4 years of work. He'll send me the pins for every location he's done over that 4 years. then we'll search the locations and then work out which ones, obviously, what the history is, if they actually died in the house, if the families, obviously, we don't want to do somewhere where the families are still alive and start calling them out. And so, but that's we have some good people, don't we?
Yeah, we have a lot of urbexers that aren't into the paranormal, but they'll go somewhere and they'll say, this happened to me or something strange happened to me. Maybe you want to check it out. Mm-hmm. So but it's mainly a lot of research, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Awesome. All right, let's see here. All right, so kind of going along with how long you stay, and we've already kind of gone over this a little bit, but do you think the longer you stay, the more evidence or data that you are able to collect determines if it's truly haunted?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We spent endless nights at places, and like the last one that's just gone out, we've said there's something going on at that place. We know there's something going on. The amount of whistles that we've heard and knocks and bangs and direct responses that we've heard, we can't quite underpin it yet what it is or who it is. Mm-hmm. So it'd be nice to go back to that place.
Even I'm a big skeptic, I am. And even I said, there's definitely something going on here. 100% there's something here.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to go back. But yeah, definitely the more time we spend in these places, the better it seems to get, really.
Nice. All right. So one of your episodes, the Ghost of Widow Cottage. That's the one with the camera moving, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just explaining that one to Kim. Like, I've watched that one several times. Like, it's just...
We didn't notice it on the night. We hadn't got a clue. And I was going through the footage at home. And because we don't normally leave our cameras recording when we're packing up, it was just a pure fluke that we'd left them recording. Mm-hmm. But we'd done, like, I think it was the fourth night there, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We were really knackered. So we'd left them recording. And so I thought, well, I'll just skip through it. I won't bother watching it. Mm-hmm. And I'm skipping through it, and I thought, hang on a minute, that camera's in a different position. So I went back, and then, when I saw that, I said to the boys, you need to watch this. We've looked every which way. Could it have been this? Could it have been that? And we just...
The screams as well that come from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going, it's an hour. It's an hour. Then you go, listen to this back, and then when you go into edit, she'll play it back through the headphones and going, yeah, okay, maybe it's not an hour then, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. And then we got the REM pods going off when we were all outside the building as well, and that is amazing. We were there the other night, weren't we? Funny enough, we went back the other night. We were
going to do a live, but we couldn't get a signal, could we? Because it's right out in the countryside.
But that one, I think, is the one that intrigues us all the most, because we did get so much activity there. And like I say, the fact that we got the REM pods going off when we'd gone out of the building, we were all outside of the building. Mm-hmm. And there's only one way in and one way out. Me and Lee were standing there, and Rocky was down by the gate.
Looking for whoever we thought the scream was.
Yeah, we were convinced that there was somebody there. And again, when we were there on Friday night, we took somebody else with us. And she said, I can hear people talking outside.
You could hear music as well.
And you could hear music. And I'm saying, that's exactly what we got last time. But again, that is a farm, and it's in the middle of nowhere on a back lane. So you can clearly hear when cars are going past.
It used to be a pub as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it used to be a
pub. It was a training stables. It was a farm.
Yeah, the history of it is amazing. And it dates back to the Knights Templar as well, the area, the land. So, yeah, it's really, really good. I love that place.
Yeah, that was a very interesting video to watch. Like, I just cannot believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, I kept looking and I'm like watching that camera, like, how?
Somebody said to us the other day, I think it's the tripod dropping down on one side. And I said, well, it's a good theory, but if you looked how it moved, it moved backwards. It didn't drop down. It's not changed angles. It was moved backwards. Mm-hmm. And it's on wooden floors. So we went back, didn't we? We were trying to do it. And if you even try and pull it on one tripod leg from the bottom, it tips. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. I really like that one.
And I do like how you guys go through and try to debunk things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see some that just automatically think, oh, this is what, this is paranormal, this is whatever. But I really like how you guys go through and try to debunk things. Like,
well, that's it. We're here for answers ourselves, but mainly because I always think nobody's going to get any further in the field if everybody is jumping to the same conclusions. And
Every
I think,
noise you hear is paranormal,
there's 90% of stuff that we get that we can explain. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we can explain. That's why we kind of leave it to the viewers to decide. There's the evidence that we've got. You then decide. You can either believe us or you don't believe us. But there's things that do excite us, like that camera move, like the REM pods, and then there's other stuff that we'll try.
The last place that you just put out really intrigued me.
The Brooke Lee one.
Yeah.
That one was.
The whistles from nowhere, like what?
Yeah, I watched that one too.
Did you? And then something was thrown through the window. Well, we say through the window, but we found no evidence of anything in those rooms. There was nothing lying around. There wasn't a brick
on the floor.
There was nothing on the floor, was there? And again, when you see that episode, the first thing we all say is somebody's outside.
Yep,
and it's the same with Widow's Cottage. There's somebody outside, and we. If there had been somebody living out there that was living as a human being, not a spirit, then I could have understood it. But again, that's when you look at the pictures of the drone footage, the house is covered in ivy and covered in trees. It's literally buried, isn't it?
Seemed like a wooded area down a country lane.
So anybody would have a light that was coming in, would need a light, torches to come in. So, and we didn't see any evidence of that. But that place, for the first time in probably a long time, when we went back to film the second and third night, I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go.
That stone chucked at me, on the way out the window.
And the first, I think that's what scared me the most. But the first time we went, I'm saying, I don't feel anything here. It's really quiet. It's really peaceful. Me and Rocky had heard a man say no in the barn, but it was like more of an accent of a no. And I'm saying, even though that's happening, I don't feel anything. And then the second and third time, I didn't want to go back. The apprehension of going back there, I think probably because Lee had something thrown at him. So we were standing outside the building because you have to get in through the kitchen window. And we're standing outside the kitchen window, me and Rocky, and Lee's passing the stuff through. And some stone flew right past him and hit the wall, and that was it. He was out. Me and Rocky rolled in our hands out, and he was jumping. He was jumping through the window. Yeah, I think that scared me more than anything. But then Lee's a bit of a bugger for saying, "I'm not going to believe it until you come and touch me, or throw something in my direction." But you said now,
I'm not going to ask for anything to be.
He's not going to ask for anything to be thrown again because it is dangerous. It can be dangerous. I think if something wanted to hit him, it could have easily done it, but it flew past you into the wall to the side, didn't it? So I don't think anybody was trying to aim anything at it. But that one, I do want to go back and try and underpin what's going on there, who's there.
Try and get a name.
Yeah, but what you see on the episode is a lot of noises like walking. But the first night and the second night, we didn't get that at all, did we?
No.
We didn't have any of that at all. The third and the fourth night is when we had the walking sort of noises. And I have the microphones on my camera, so I have them in my ears to listen. So I was listening. Obviously, normally I would just listen to make sure they're working, the sound levels are fine. But that night I was listening all the time through them, wasn't I?
What in your ear?
Yeah, and I could hear every little noise I could hear. And there was wooden ladders that went up to the attic. And it sounded like somebody was walking up them. It was so creepy. It was really creepy.
It's a good place, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
All right. And I know one of the questions that we had that I think you guys sent me was somebody was wanting to know if Lee is now a believer in the paranormal. Because I know he's pretty skeptical in some episodes.
I'm getting there. Because that last place we went, something definitely is going on there, but something's happening, but I don't know.
It's hard.
I'm getting there. Once I see that apparition, then I'll be.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what you kept saying. You want to see like a full blown, almost looks like a human being standing in front of you.
Yeah, that's
but then
what
how do I explain the stone? And I try and explain it. I'm going, yeah, but could it have been something falling out off the ceiling? But how can it go past your shoulder? And I really try and talk myself out of stuff, but I don't know. I'm getting there. Definitely getting there.
I think I'm becoming more sceptical as time goes on. Not that I think that I realise probably a little bit more now that there's a lot of things we can explain. So now I try to explain it. I mean, even now, watching other paranormal teams like on the TV, I'm always trying to like, oh no, that didn't happen, or he doesn't like this, or this, that, and yeah, I think but Lee's interesting in the fact that 1 minute is, no, that's it, I'm a skeptic, and then he gets excited. And
because
I mean,
something
Rocky
will happen that I really cannot explain. It
Yeah.
makes me think.
I mean,
Well,
Rocky.
then give me a few hours or a few days, and I could probably talk myself out of it.
Yeah. I mean, Rocky, like, well, what do you think? What do you think all the time
Now
on
do you
location?
believe when that storm flew past me? Now do you believe it?
Well, I don't think until he sees that full apparition, I don't think he'll fully believe.
I wish I'd have seen that shadow. You've seen it.
Yeah.
What and all.
Yeah, me and Rocky saw the shadow figure at what and all, scared the living daylights out of us.
Yes.
We've both seen it together face on, which to me was amazing, because I think if I'd seen it on my own, I probably would have talked myself out of, well, it could have been this, it could have been that, it could have been my eyes. But because we were both looking, and we were only just staring out into the darkness, really, waiting for Lee to change tapes. So yeah, that was brilliant.
I seen your faces just went white, both of you.
He knew we'd seen something. But so I always say to him, when you see that apparition, I hope you're standing with one of us, so that you can sort of exchange stories and, you know, what was it this, was it that? Because me and Rocky could confirm each other's what we saw. We could agree that it was this height, that colour, you know, it wasn't, we say shadow figure and we're trying to explain to Lee, it wasn't like a shadow like you would see when you're walking perhaps in the sunshine. It was 3D, it was out of the wall. It was weird, really weird. And I wanted to go home that night.
You've done that night, weren't you?
Yeah, if you listen to the footage that obviously didn't go into the episode, I'm like, that's it, I'm done, Rockies, I'm retiring, I want to go home, I'm going to sit in the car for the rest of the night. And Lee's like, just calm down, get a grip, aren't you?
I actually talked Rocky out of it, because I went and I wasn't telling the truth. I said, do you know what, Rocky, it's probably only a child. And I hadn't got a clue whether it was a child, an adult, or anything, but I'm just trying to calm him down from going back to the car. I'm going, it's only a child, mate, messing about with you. Do you think? I'm going, yeah, of course, mate. But he stayed and it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a good one.
We have been on some investigations with groups, and there's one particular guy who is a skeptic. Like, he comes up with some bizarre things to try to explain what just happened. But you bring out the dowsing rods, and he is out of there.
He won't stay in the room when we bring out the dowsing rods.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, he'll have something for everything. Like, one of them was because, it can't be this because my wife is laid off. And it's like, how does that, what? I don't understand. Like,
he comes up with some bizarre.
I call it some good and stuff.
Yeah, he comes up with some bizarre stuff as well. Yeah, but that's good though. I like that. I think that if you've got somebody that's like that on your team, it's definitely gonna help, because it is easy because I've had experiences and Rocky's had experiences in the past. It is easy for us to go, bang, it's paranormal, and then Lee'll say, well, hang on a minute, blah blah, and we think, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there is an explanation. So it is good to have. It is good to have him that can talk us down a little bit. Yeah. So it is.
I'm the fun sponge.
We have one that's on our team part-time that's very skeptic. There's no ghosts, there's nothing. But as soon as a bang or something comes up, she's grabbing one of us and hiding behind us.
Yep.
But there's no ghosts.
Yeah.
It's funny, that is, but yeah, I think every team needs to have a skeptic. I do think every team needs to have that skeptic.
There's definitely something going on, but whether it's a ghost or a
Yeah.
spirit, I'm just not sure at the minute.
Yeah,
Something's happening, whether it's an energy that we can't see or we haven't quite worked out yet. Just because
Rocky
the REM
thinks
pod goes off, I keep saying to Rocky, but just because that goes off, mate, that could be any form of an energy wave that you cannot see, just going past. You know, it could be coming from anywhere, that signal. So we're going to buy a piece of equipment over the next few months that if your K2 or if a REM pod goes off, it'll register and it'll tell you exactly what that signal was. And if the computer can't figure out, it will say unknown.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
source.
that's cool.
Phone, it'll say mobile phone, power lines. We turn all our mobile phones off now.
Yeah, we never have phones on.
We used to when we used to go out over 12 months ago when we first started, we'd put them onto aeroplane mode.
Yeah, but that doesn't work.
But then we've done loads and loads of different testing, and aeroplane mode can still kick off your K2s.
And your REM pod.
And your REM pod, your REM pod as well. So as soon as you get a Wi-Fi signal come through, because it's intermittent on your mobile phone, your Wi-Fi, and obviously if your messages come through, for a very split second, it will make a REM pod trigger.
Walkie-talkies can do that too.
Yep. Yeah, walkie-talkies,
We did a live at Cannock Woods, and I wanted to show Rocky how far the signal would travel. And I put the phone onto live, and I had the K2. No, I had the K2, you had a camera on me, and Rocky walked, and he must have got 20 metres, and the K2 was still pulling the signal off his live phone. It was unreal.
We've been in a building with some YouTubers, Proving Demons. They were filming in there, and we went in. We didn't put the episode out, did we?
No,
they were 3 stories above us and right on the opposite side, because it was quite a big manor house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they were live. They always do their stuff live. And our K2 was still
3 stories down.
Was still having an effect from it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It kept pulsing.
So we had to kind of abandon
scrap
it.
that episode, didn't we?
Yeah. And then we went back the night after, and they weren't there, and there was no K2s going off. So we were like, right, we need to scrap that. But yeah.
That's how bad a Wi-Fi signal can affect your
definitely
K2 equipment. But I like building stuff with lasers, and we had lasers go off. So me and Sarah, we get back that night, and I'm going, listen, got to figure this out, because I don't think it was a ghost. Could it be dust? So Sarah's in there sprinkling cocoa pot. Not going off, and I'm going, right, okay. Well then, what if it was a bug? Get a dog biscuit out. So she's throwing a dog biscuit through the laser. I'm thinking, what else? And I couldn't work it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah, but I'm a bugger.
I was crushing up the cocoa pots as small as I could, and
to get it into dust.
Then I was going and getting sand from outside, and we couldn't get it to.
Couldn't get it to go off again.
No. It's strange behind the scenes of our house.
That's how my mind is, though. If something goes off, I've got to try and figure out what set that up. It can't be a ghost. No, it's not a ghost. It's something else. And then when you try and do a load of experiments, and it's still not going off. You start thinking, right, okay, maybe something did set it off.
Yeah, and it was right at my feet as well when that went off. And the boys were down the opposite end of the corridor, and it was right at my feet. And I was like, oh God! And it did it a few times, didn't it? And then
Rocky started off by saying, "What do you think about?" And we found out yesterday. So Rocky makes a comment. So what do you think about knocking this farm down then, and building houses here? Next minute, the laser went, ding, ding. And I thought, wow. Anyway, the other night, we were speaking to a girl that come out with us, and she went, do you remember that building you went where Rocky says that? And the laser went, I said, yeah. She went, you know they flattened that, don't you? And the houses there. I went,
it's been knocked down now.
We really didn't know that. He was trying to get a response. We didn't know that was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
And then that happened, and then like 2 months later, we found out it actually has been flattened.
I feel guilty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I do feel guilty now.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dear.
Let's see here. Another cool place that I thought they were very interesting looking anyways, was is it called the Standage Tunnels?
Oh, yeah.
That was a very interesting location. How did you come across those?
Somebody gave us that place.
Somebody sent us the location.
Somebody sent us the location.
And said if you can climb, you're good climbers, you can get into this place. So we went, we'll go.
We'll go. Yeah, we'll go. We went down there and we did the mines as well at the same time. We really enjoyed it. But I think for us,
I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy it. He had pneumonia at the time. We didn't know, and me and Rocky are dragging him down these dark, cold tunnels. But
I ended up in hospital after that.
Yeah, after that one you did. But I think for us, we enjoyed doing them in the exploring side of it. But paranormal was out the window because we were like kids in a sweet shop with that place, because there was so many cool things to see and take pictures of. And then we come across the live rail tunnel, and which we didn't know was in there at the time. There was a canal there, and the history to that place is so cool. But for paranormal, unfortunately, we just didn't.
You can't control what's going on there, can you?
We couldn't control it enough, but I don't think we spent we didn't spend long enough. We did one night in there,
Mhm.
like 6 Lee went into hospital, but you couldn't control it anyway. But it's such a cool place.
Yeah.
I did like that place, and the mines. I like doing the mines.
Yeah, the mines was good.
I like going places where you know that not many people get to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool.
Those
Or
are
like
the fun
the
ones.
abandoned. What's that?
Kim said those were the fun ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Or even ones like the abandoned ones that have been knocked down. We've got that on film now, and that's on YouTube for people to see. And that place is gone, so it's nice to document
History.
History, yeah, it is nice to document it.
It just fascinates me. Some of these buildings are going how they can be left, and they can be like £1 million worth, and they're just left sat doing nothing. And I feel sorry for like the person that has obviously died there, or that owned the house, got no children or family to pass it down to, and it just get crushed. It just get squashed.
I think
the land goes back to the council.
I think the heartbreaking thing about it is because we can go in places and beds are still made and
everything's still there. The cutlery's still out.
But the most heartbreaking thing is when you see family photographs, because I think for me, you know, as my legacy, if my kids wanted to leave my building to decay and left all my furniture, that's fine. But if they didn't take my photographs, you know, I'd be really upset. Yeah. So to see photographs, and we won't put photographs out. We don't take pictures. They're personal sort of moments. But it's sad, isn't it? It's heartbreaking. Some of the places we go to, it really is.
I feel sneeze coming on. Okay, I controlled it. All right, I'm going to get through some of these questions here that we've had come through.
Okay.
We had questions from, I hope I say this right, Bryony Pagey.
Okay.
They want to know, what's your favorite piece of evidence?
Oh, God. The camera move was the coolest. And the lady who screams in that very first episode of ours. That one, I think, is my best. Yeah, that's still the best. I'm the only lady that was there that night. And I know I didn't make those noises. Well, I hope I didn't. I have questioned myself many times. Could I have done it and not realised I've done it? But they've got me on camera.
I heard that, then you go straight up to me. I heard that.
They've all got me on camera, so it wasn't me. So yeah, I love that. I really like that one. That's my favourite.
Yeah, mine too, probably. And the last place we did's pretty good for me as well.
Oh yeah.
Although I like what and all when the door kept going, boom, bang.
Yeah. I did like that.
That was pretty good because the REM pod was going off just before it happened as well, which is confirming the door as well, which is really good. I enjoyed that.
And the door stops midway.
It
carries on, so it's not. I mean, if it's wind, it'd open or close. It actually, and we didn't notice it at the time it did it. We were
talking, or we were at the end of the building.
Opens. I don't know if it opens and it stops, or it closes and it stops.
Times.
Yeah, so it stops midway, which is interesting. Really interesting. Going back there for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Halloween there.
Got it for Halloween.
Yeah.
All right, another question from Brian Pagey. Where do you want Spirit Vision to be in the next year or so?
God. I don't know. I think when we started, we didn't expect.
That's it. I'm happy for it to stay where it is now, to be honest.
We
didn't expect to get where we are now.
We didn't expect to get where we are now. We thought maybe we'd get 100 people watching our stuff, and then now we get that many messages between us.
It's getting hard.
It's getting difficult to manage. And we're just 3 normal people just doing what we enjoy doing and sharing it with everybody. But
it's becoming like a job. It's starting to become like a job, and I don't want it to come to that. I want us to enjoy
what we do.
What we're doing.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, could you get a lot of people on YouTube that are fake? They are fake, and I can see. I don't know why the people that watch it can't see, but I can see it through them. So when we first started, the plan was just to have a camera each. But then I was saying to Sarah, but then really we need to all be on camera because anybody can say one of you's thrown it. So then I went over the top. Then we now film with 6 cameras, and we always try and cover us all on camera.
It's
but
like
I think I want to halt it how it is now because I couldn't go any further with it.
It's
just
like
too
a whole
much to do now.
Yeah.
You've got to go through 6 files of editing, this voice record, this endless amount of stuff to go through.
We're not looking for fame or fortune or anything like that.
No.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice that people want to watch us, and it's nice that they like what we're doing and they're messaging us, and it is nice, yeah. But I don't know. Just see where it goes, really. See where it goes.
I'd like it to stay where it is.
Yeah. Only because he can't
I
use
think Rocky
social
would as
media.
well. Rocky cannot stand cameras.
Yeah, he doesn't like
He
it.
hates. He doesn't like doing a voiceover, and he's not even on camera.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
like it.
used to the cameras now when we're filming.
Uh-huh.
He cannot do. He just cannot do. Like if we sit here and say that night when I think it was the last two we put on where we did we went through everything we got through.
Mm-hmm,
that was a nightmare to do that.
We did it over
Absolute nightmare.
3 nights we had to do doing that.
He could do a podcast, but he cannot do a live.
Yeah,
if he knows it's going on,
he's all right in a building because he's in the pitch black, so he can't see which way the cameras are pointing. Yeah, so, yeah, he's getting there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. We'd like to be able to go further, perhaps into Europe, maybe over to America at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'd like to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. For us, it's searching for answers.
We're going out. We're going to Scotland.
Yeah, we're going to Scotland.
Should I not have said that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we've booked to go for Scotland for 2 days, so we're going a bit further places as well. So
we've got 2 nights, three locations in Scotland,
which is a bit different for us because normally we'd like to go somewhere 2 or 3 times. But what we might find is, because we're going to a really famous haunted pub, what we might find is, and we've discussed, haven't we, that if we get something on the night that we go and it's good enough,
we'll go back.
We will go back. Or if we get a feeling,
drive, we'll go back.
We'll go back and do our usual 2 or 3 times. And the landlord's quite happy for us to do that because he wants to see, doesn't he?
The location sits. I don't know if you know Edinburgh, but the Edinburgh Vaults. The pub sits right in the heart of the vaults on top of them.
Oh, wow.
So his pub is like chaos. It's supposed to be chaos activity. Yeah. And I kept saying, well, we're not sure. And the manager's going, no, you must come down. Please come down.
He's begging us to come.
I want you to come down and just see what you can get. I'm intrigued to see what you can get. So we're locked it in, haven't we? And we're going in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we're meeting somebody that we've not met before, but we know him through social media. He's been messaging us.
He writes books as well.
Yeah, he does North Edinburgh Nightmares and
ghost stories as well.
Yeah, he does history, and the history that he knows about Edinburgh is just phenomenal. We love watching his videos, don't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to be able to go to a location and somebody be there that can say, well, this happened, that happened, and tell us the history.
Very nice. And yeah, that was one of the questions. You kind of answered it from Chronically. I'm not sure exactly what their whole name is, but they wanted to know if you would ever investigate abroad. But
yeah, I think I'd like to.
A what?
Investigate abroad.
Yeah.
I'd like to go abroad. I mean, there's so many cool places here. We've got friends in America that'll say, "Oh, we want to investigate in England. It's so cool," and we're like, "Oh, we want to investigate in America. It's so yeah. But we've been invited. We've been invited to Indonesia. We've been invited to France, Spain, Germany. We've been invited everywhere. America.
Yeah.
We've been invited everywhere, but obviously it's time and it's money.
Right. Yeah.
Strain, really.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully one day we will get out of Iowa to investigate. But there's a lot of cool places here to investigate, but
it's nice to go somewhere else and just...
Yes, some of them we've been to like 20, 30 times, so...
Yeah.
That was the thing you said about the history. We do a homework on the history, but we like to go into a place first, and we don't know nothing about it.
Right,
Yep. Who's there or anything first, and then Sarah will do her homework on the history when we're done. On a lot of the places to go to.
I just think that it can influence you, even if you don't want it to. Even if you don't mean it to, it can influence you.
Yep.
So yeah, I always look it up afterwards. Or we've just done somewhere recently. It comes out in another couple of weeks, and that's really famous. And Lee knows he's watched it on the TV for years. And me and Rocky were saying, well, don't tell us a thing. We don't want to know anything. Just because I do think it can influence you, even if, like I say, even if you don't mean it to.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, we've went on some that everybody wants to hear everything. What's happened in this room? What's happened in this? then they go in and expect it to happen, and then it don't, then they get disappointed.
Right.
That's when me and Allison, we go in blind and not want to know nothing till later. Then go back through and see, okay, did this match what this person said had happened? And
that's it. And it's also, it's easy to get wrapped up in, they got this certain activity in this room and miss something else that's going on, or something else in, in the corridor or wherever. It's easy to miss and get wrapped up in it.
And a lot of the time people see, like, we've got a well-known TV show over here, I won't say who they are, but they're well-known for, like, faking the stuff what they do. And people think, a lot of people believe because it's on telly, that that's going on in these locations. And when they get there, well, they went and they got this, that and the other. Well, you ain't going to get a log flying past your head. Or,
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that ruins it. And even though it says for entertainment purposes, there's people out there that really think they're real. They think that that's what's going on.
Of course
in
they
these
do,
places.
because they don't have any experience in the paranormal.
Right.
And I think average Joe public want to believe that there's something, so they're willing to.
I want to believe. Don't mind Joe public.
Well, yeah, but I think they're willing to believe sort of anything. But it's quite sad.
I want to believe because I hope that you're not born and there's just nothing afterwards. That'd be pretty rubbish, wouldn't it?
Rocky's convinced now that it's another dimension. He's convinced himself now.
He convinces himself
every week he comes out. But yeah, now at the minute he's hung on it's some sort of other dimension. I don't know.
You never know. You just don't really know.
No.
That's it.
And I don't think if they are there, they're not allowed to tell us anyway. There's obviously some barrier there. I could tell you now, my nanny, she would tell you, she'd be here now telling you.
Yeah, my nan would be the same,
They're probably same for everybody's family. Yeah. But there's some kind of barrier there that must be stopping them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that...
I hope so, anyway.
Well, I think that if you go into a place, it tends to be people who've died, centuries before coming through. You don't ever really hear of anybody, if you ask, when did you die? Well, 2012, so I think they have to kind of learn how to communicate with us and build up the energy and be strong enough to be able to come through, So, I don't know. It'd be nice to definitively know. And I think until every team can cross-reference their evidence at certain locations that they've done together and try stuff and go out and do things a little bit different. Like, we'll try different pieces of equipment. We've tried putting a camera now in a 19th century camera, just to see if we all do something different. They'll remember, yeah. Or if we all use the same equipment in the same way, saying the same things over and over, are we going to get any further in the field? Probably not.
You've got to try different stuff.
Yeah. So, be nice.
What does your skeptic think of mediums?
What is I don't know. We've only been with him. He's from another group, and we've only been with him a couple times. So I don't know what he thinks about that. I think he was around me a couple times when I started spouting off stuff. He just kind of just sat there, and he didn't really say anything. So, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if he's ever really said anything, and I don't know.
I don't think they've ever.
I don't know if they've gone with a medium. We've done stuff with mediums and things, but
we've just had somebody do remote view for us for this one that's hopefully going out next. She's just sent it us through this morning, so it'd be interesting. I'm going to go and
she's come up with,
and she's talking a lot about the land as well and about the church. So I'm going to go and do the research for that next week. So it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah,
Lee, you're on the fence with mediums, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But then I've heard good mediums and I've heard bad mediums.
Yeah, but how do you know a good one was a good one?
Because I think you can sort of tell if they're guessing. But then I have heard mediums that have come out with good stuff that you can research, and it's not stuff that's, if you go into a well-known location and the medium's spouting stuff out, you could say, well, they knew
Right.
But if you go to somewhere that it takes a while to look at that history and they're coming up with stuff, or they're coming up with, like the girl who does the remote view for us, she doesn't just come up with a history. She'll say, you'll feel this certain way in this certain room, or this will happen to you, or that'll happen to you. And then she'd done a reading for us last year for one that we actually did put out, and she said, you're going to see a grey lady, a figure of a grey lady in it.
Didn't you?
And 2 hours before that, little did she know, I'd actually seen the grey lady and got a photograph.
End of it.
Yeah. So that, I find that interesting. I do find it interesting.
Yeah, and then she'll say, send us pictures, and I say to Sarah, just send her a picture of that brick. Don't send her
Right, yep.
Small as possible.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
He does. And he zooms in on everything, makes sure there's no pictures or any addresses on envelopes or anything. But that's good, though. Yeah, I think you need to do that. And I think she'd agree herself. That,
of course. She wouldn't want it easy.
She wouldn't want it easy. She doesn't want to know anything. She doesn't want to know an area. She doesn't.
She's a descendant of the... Do you remember the witch trials? The Salem witch trials?
Oh, yes. Yep.
She's a descendant of one of them.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
The medium we've went out with, Kelly.
Oh, and we've been out with Cynthia, too.
But she'll go around with us, but won't say what she's getting until we all meet up at the safe room, and we'll discuss what we all experienced, and then she would go through and see if it matches what we were experiencing that she was experiencing. So that way she's not leading us on to something else, and we're doing our investigation and stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to do an experiment with another team. I want them to go to one location, film, do their stuff. We go to our location, switch, and see if any of it matches up.
That'd be an awesome idea. That's a great idea.
And then we also want to pin it down even further and perhaps do the same night a week later.
Oh, yeah.
And see if because if it's residual, maybe it's a certain time.
It's coming back at that time.
Certain day,
right.
yeah. And really, we met two girls from Paranormal Hauntings at the Widow's Cottage. As we were going in for our last night, they were coming out. We were discussing everything that we'd not actually watched all the footage back, had we, at that point?
No.
So we were discussing stuff that we'd had in there. And then we watched their episode on it, and it's the same, similar, more or less, really same places, same.
Weird.
Yeah, and I think you need to cross-reference with that. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good idea. That is really actually a good idea to do that. I'd be interested to see how that works out.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, we have some more questions here. From, looks like Becky Boo. What's the scariest location you've investigated?
Probably the last one.
Yeah, for me,
the last one, yeah.
The stone being
thrown. The Brooklyn one, the haunting at Brooklyn. Yeah,
I think that's scarier than the shadow figure.
I think in the moment with the shadow figure, I was scared. I think I've never been to a building where I've been scared to even go through the window and go in.
Yeah. I didn't know what to
I was trying to talk the boys out. Well, we probably didn't get anything, but maybe we should go back there. Let's go and use the location. They were like, no, we definitely. I was trying, no. I think that was probably for me the scariest.
Yeah, for me as well.
I think Rocky would probably say the shadow figure for him. Yeah.
All right, and then do you guys have a favorite piece of equipment?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, yourself.
I just like how my body reacts to places. I do.
Don't know.
And the voice recorder.
You like the voice recorder? I probably like the spirit box because I think some of the responses that we've got from when I first started, I loved the spirit box, and then when I really thought about it, I thought it's probably just radio stations coming through and getting stuck. But when we start getting Hey Rocky and really clear, in reverse, we're going, it's on 100 going in reverse. You can barely hear, if a radio station does click on, you barely hear, a syllable, you don't hear anything, do you? But when we were at Widow's Cottage, Lee said, where should we go? Top or bottom? Top comes through. And that, it amazes me. So yeah, my probably the spirit box.
The Hey Rocky, because to say that over a radio station would just, I don't think you'd get it.
It's a lot.
I don't think you'd squeeze it in. Not that the sweet
speed
babe
we're
he
going.
puts it in. Something's going on. Something's definitely going on.
I like the spirit box too.
Yeah, I like spirit box.
All right. Do you guys have a bucket list, investigation, or a place that you want to go?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Doll Island.
Doll Island, Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, there's so many places. I want to go everywhere. I just want to go everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd like to do a couple of... I like asylums and prisons are my favourite.
Asylum.
So, yeah, I'd like to do
You have a lot of prisons in America, good prisons.
Yeah.
Old ones.
Yeah, there's quite a few I'd like to do.
Yep.
There's too many to name. I don't even know in England if there's... I don't know. Everything I want to do is America.
There's a lot over here, though. There is a lot.
There is a lot over here, yeah. Yeah. We want to do Shrewsbury Prison, don't we, at some point? We're looking at doing that. We are looking at doing that. So, yeah. Bucket list. Just everywhere and anywhere I can investigate.
But the trouble is with places like that, they're very expensive to take for a night, a whole jail to rent out. They want over, I think it's near £1,500 for the night. So to do that, you would have to take more teams. Well, I'm not into that. I want our team to stay as us three. Then anything we hear, we know it's not us. But you take another 4 or 5 people with you, you can't guarantee that they weren't moving, he wasn't moving, that didn't.
Right.
It's nice when you work with other teams, but work them in the sense that you're all kind of together in the same bit. I think when you do somewhere like that, you're all split off, so you can never be 100% sure that they're not above you or down the corridor, and yeah.
So for my birthday, Sarah's going to save up and pay for it, aren't you?
Yeah. 20, 50 something, yeah.
Okay, let's see here. These are some questions from Darren, who's usually he's an avid listener to all the podcasts on Paranormal Buzz Radio. So one of his questions is, what is the dumbest question you have asked and realized it was dumb and you don't use anymore?
Oh my God.
Oh, loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff that we've asked.
Right, so I said once, we were up in the, do you know what, I can't, it's just gone out of my head, and it was really stupid.
There's loads of stuff you say.
And Sean went, have you just really asked that?
I know.
You've just asked. It was like a double question. It was like,
I do all the time.
Well, what do you want, a yeah or a no, basically?
Yeah.
I'd ask, can you do this, but then ask
to do that
something afterwards, and it was like contradicting the question.
I always do it. I always say you were a girl or a boy, and Lee'll say,
"Well, which things like that."
Which one do you want to do? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry."
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff that you say, and you just think, "Really, have I just said that?"
Yep.
I think everybody has that. Every investigator must have that.
Let's see here. Okay, these are a couple running polls he has going too. So the first one is, what is the one thing or object that you would not want to be haunted?
What, like personal object?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. I don't know.
My children, but I'd love my house to be.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, then maybe I don't want my house to be haunted.
I wouldn't mind that. If it was nice.
I don't know. I think I wouldn't mind anything haunting me if it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it was negative, then I don't think it would matter what object it was. If it was negative, it wouldn't.
I wouldn't want the children to be.
No. No, I certainly wouldn't want the children to be.
No. That would be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. We had somebody that messaged us the other day with footage of the cot, of the monitors, really, really scared, saying we keep seeing this dark figure over our baby and it's really scaring me. We got it up on the computer on the big screen, didn't we? And it was actually a spider.
No, jeez.
Yeah,
we showed her it back on the big screen and she was like, oh my God, thank God
you
for
so
that.
much.
I can rest at night now. And
oh, wow.
It's difficult because sometimes you never know if people want it to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are they looking for you to say, yes, definitely, you're being haunted?
Mm-hmm.
But she was really grateful, wasn't she? She was really scared.
We slowed the footage down as well and you could see it just move slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'd say, my husband would go in the room and it would climb up. My husband would go in the room and it'd disappear, but it'd climb up. You'd see it just climbing up the thing,
Out
wouldn't
the way, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But on
Okay,
the
so
camera, it does look like a
black shadow.
like a shadow, yeah, going past over the screen. It's weird.
oh gosh,
That would freak me out.
it would creep me out.
But
That would
I
creep
would
me
try
out
to
as well.
debunk it. Just like,
You're right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until you put it on the big telly.
Yeah, that we didn't see.
You couldn't see it. If we put it on the phone, and that's what it looked like. You put it on the computer, and that's what it looked like. But when Sarah transferred it to the telly, then you could see exactly what it was.
When she first sent it me, I was like, oh. And at first I was like, do we really want to scare this woman? What if we're going to find something? You know?
And we have to tell her, yeah.
And we have to tell her, yeah. And then I got it on, and then I sent her a full email, and she was just like so grateful, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She'd been really worried for months that something was standing over a child. It was a spider.
Okay, so the opposite is, what is the one thing you would want to be haunted?
My house.
The house.
Just wants his house to be haunted. I don't know. Again, I think anything that I could research and look into and investigate, then yeah, I'll be up for it as long as it's not negative.
Saying that, you have to be careful with this. I asked for a stone to be thrown or something to be thrown. It was thrown and I didn't like it, so maybe I wouldn't like my house to be haunted. I don't know.
If they did you cleaning up, you probably wouldn't.
Oh, I love it. I'm a cooking. Sarah can't cook. I'm only joking.
I don't cook.
I'm only joking.
I don't cook. My man can't cook. Leek does all the cooking.
There you go. All right, so before we wrap up, where can people find your videos? Where can they find you or follow you?
Okay, so we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So our Series 1 and Series 2 that's just come out now is on our YouTube channel, which is Spirit Vision Paranormal Research. Again, if you find us on Facebook, Twitter, it's always Spirit Vision Paranormal Research. So yeah, come find us. Come and follow our journey. We've just started our Patreon as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we've also got a shop on
Facebook,
but the stuff is like, that's another thing we got. When me and Sarah and Rocky started doing it, all the equipment's so expensive, and the minute you say it's paranormal, it doubles in price. So me and Rocky said that if we ever made anything, we'd only make like £10-15 on it. So we make like basic stuff, REM pods, bears, things like that, but they're like
cameras.
Way cheaper. Even the cameras are really good, aren't they? But a lot cheaper
We
than
like
other
to help.
people. However, in America, it probably costs you shipping. It's not going to save you much money. But in the UK, it's really good for quite a bit.
I know.
Stuff.
I was like, Kim and I were talking about those little minions. We're like, those are so cool.
I really want one.
Yeah, that started because when we were testing the cameras at the Old Sage Court, the minion dropped down. Rocky had got the little ones from McDonald's, and it dropped down 2 or 3 times, hadn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like everybody started recognising us for the minions. So then the boys were like, well, let's build a REM pod inside a minion. And people ask us all the time, don't they, if we can sell them. But yeah. Minions. We went somewhere once, didn't we? We were like 300 or 400 miles away from home. And this girl was like, so who are you? And we're like, Spirit Vision. Oh, no, not heard of you. We've got the minion out. She was like, oh, now I know who you guys are.
Now
I know who you are. I was like, okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody who is listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we will be back next Thursday night. So thank you. And thank you, Sarah and Lee, for joining us. It was awesome to be able to talk to you. And make sure you guys check out Spirit Vision Paranormal Research.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to REP Paranormal and Friends. Be sure to check out Kim and Allison on Facebook at REP Paranormal Busters.